this week against a hostile environment. You know.
He's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
Seen some of the one-handed catches he's pulled down, just crazy. Hard to
hmm
believe he's a freshman.
I will say though, for Ohio State, this will be critical, but Ryan Day's probably gonna be talking to Will Howard saying, you know, we made the mistake in the Oregon game. We've got to have better clock management. you
Yep,
know,
you can't be Dak Prescott. I mean,
you can't
um,
you can't be Dak Prescott trying to run for a first down with maybe 2 seconds to go and expect to call a timeout last second. That's not how it works.
you've been watching the Cowboys too much, Will Howard. Yeah, that's not the team to watch if you want to go pro.
right,
So,
right. So
dude,
yeah, definitely big game for both teams. I'm leaning towards Ohio State to get the win. I think it's a must win for them. And then I think we've seen it too many times. Penn State. Can they win? Can James Franklin win the big game? I think Ryan Day is able to get it done on the road just because of what's at stake.
well, Ryan Day has not performed well against some
Right.
of the teams. I'm taking the Nittany Lions.
Really. All right.
Taking the Nittany Lions over Ryan Day's Ohio State Buckeyes.
So I guess me and you are switching seats then because I was picking all the upsets last week, and now here you are picking all the upsets. It might
Well,
seem like.
you never know what you're gonna get from me. I'm a mixed bag.
Yep. You sure are.
And moving on to our next game, we got SMU and
hmm
Pittsburgh,
Right.
both undefeated in conference play.
And don't forget, SMU is 7-1, first year in the league, and here's Pittsburgh 7-0. How about that? A top 20 showdown.
Yeah, top 20 showdown, maybe potential playoff implications. I mean, Clemson's run the ACC for years.
hmm
Um, I
Yeah,
think this really shows who the new sheriff in town really is.
right. Well, and you know what's crazy is for SMU, they don't have either Miami or Clemson on their schedule. And so if they find a way to beat Pittsburgh, that would be a huge win for them because that could, if they can win out, that'll catapult them to the ACC championship, and then you might be looking at a playoff run for them. Now, on the other side, if Pittsburgh's able to get the win, that'll be a huge win for them, but that would probably kind of diminish SMU's playoff chances just because, you
They already have
know,
a loss.
yeah,
Yeah. SMU already having a loss kind of puts them in a difficult spot. If
right.
they want to keep their playoff odds alive, they need to win against Pittsburgh
Yeah.
tomorrow.
It's kind of the other way around too for Pittsburgh too. They need a win too.
It's kind of weird, it's
Yeah.
starting to get to this point in the season where every game just means a little bit more.
hmm Well, and then Clemson doesn't play Miami this year. Well, yeah, they don't play Miami this year in the regular season. So it's somebody's gonna win, somebody's gonna lose, and it's elimination time.
So we're looking at SMU being a touchdown favorite in this game,
Ooh,
um, being at home in Dallas.
I think that's huge for them. I think that's big for them. That's pretty big.
I just hear it's a good environment because I had a friend that went to a game there. They just when they play TCU rivalry week. I
Yeah,
mean, I know their fans are great. From just eyewitness accounts. I mean, their fans are going to play a factor in this game like never before.
yeah,
I don't think SMU's played in this big of a game in a long time.
very long time. Yeah,
Ever since their recruiting probations. The,
back in like the 80s.
yeah. Obviously, Pittsburgh's quarterback Eli Holstein is their offensive leader in yards, throwing
hmm
17 touchdowns, throwing for 1,800 yards.
God, that's crazy.
He will be a big factor in this
Yeah,
game. While SMU hasn't really had a steady quarterback situation.
yeah,
Um,
they have. And I'm pretty sure isn't the SMU starting quarterback a local kid too?
I believe so. I mean,
Yeah.
Kevin Jennings,
Yeah.
yeah, Oak Cliff, Texas,
Mm-hmm.
very close to Dallas. I mean, he obviously took the starting job from Preston Stone.
Yep.
Stone was not doing it, and Kevin Jennings, great athlete, great player,
He's getting it
took the
done.
spot. He's proven he can be a starter in Power Four football.
Yeah. That's
We
right.
need to keep those interceptions down though, because they almost lost to Duke because of that. He threw 3 interceptions against Duke.
Yeah.
Uh, him keeping the turnovers to a minimum is going to be key in this game.
Right. So my question is, who you got winning this game?
So SMU is the favorite, and I'm going to stand by Texas bias here. I want SMU to win, and I'm going to take them to win at home.
At home.
Yeah, they're favored. I mean, I think they get it done.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, I'm sorry to break your thunder, but I gotta go. I gotta go Pittsburgh.
Go, it's Pittsburgh.
I'm going. I think they find a. I think they find a way to get it done. I think they try and find some weaknesses from Pittsburgh from SMU's offense. Um, I think they get after the quarterback a little bit. They had a couple of turnovers last game they played the
Oh
Pittsburghs.
yeah, I saw all those pick
Yeah,
sixes that they forced. A veteran quarterback in Kyle McCord
yeah,
threw
that's crazy.
threw like 3 interceptions, 4 interceptions in the first half.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I think that'll be a huge factor. You are more than certainly right about that.
yeah. And if SMU does turn the ball over, like was it Syracuse that did that? Like if they pull a Syracuse, Pittsburgh's gonna win. If they had that many turnovers just because of Pittsburgh's offense, they can put up points too. But that defense, man, is really good, and so I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Turnovers. Yep. Okay. Moving on to our third and final game. This is a very weird game.
Hmm.
Wisconsin and Iowa. Who thought we'd be talking about Wisconsin and Iowa?
Yeah. Well, and the Badgers, they're not doing too bad at all.
No, 5-3 in conference play. I mean, 5-3 overall. My bad.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, they have a chance to get bowl eligible, and so does Iowa. Um, they're playing for just to maybe get an at-large bid, the
yeah,
playoffs, maybe if they can win out. Or same thing for Iowa. They've played some pretty good football recently. They finally
yeah.
had offense.
I don't know if I'd ever think I'd be ever saying this, but I think I saw Iowa score more than 7 points a couple weeks ago. How crazy is that? Isn't that just like mind blowing?
With all the tight end talent they've had in the
Yeah.
past, it is
Right.
ridiculous they are not scoring more points.
Yeah.
It is stupid that they're not scoring more points. And
Right.
they've had tight ends like Kittle, Laporta, Fant, Hawkinson.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous they're not scoring points.
Hey,
Um,
if they could have just had an offense this entire for the past 3 or 4 years, and because they've always had a pretty good defense, this is a team that's right in the thick of the hunt.
every single year they could be in the hunt.
Yeah.
But
You never know.
sadly, they they're not. They're just. I mean, both of these teams. I'd say they about met expectations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For this year so far.
Right.
Maybe this game can be something to start a little win streak on and finish the season off really nice.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's this week in college football. We have been spoiled this year.
Yeah.
With the great matchups, and this week just not the same.
Right. That's right.
So
So, is this this is a home game, I believe, for is it for Wisconsin?
Iowa is going to be playing at their place. They're going to be playing at Iowa.
I'll be playing at Iowa. Got it. Gotcha. Makes
And
sense.
Iowa, I believe, is the favored squad.
Hmm. Yeah, in this game, I'm gonna go and take the Hawkeyes. I like Iowa in this one.
Yeah, both quarterbacks not great, but the running attack on both sides is absolutely elite.
Right.
Um, Johnson for Iowa, Caleb Johnson
Mm-hmm.
is, he's right up there with Ashton Genty in terms of production this season.
Wow.
With 1,144 yards and 16 touchdowns. I mean, he's chasing Genty. I mean, he's the second best running back in in whole college football. He's carrying that whole offense, and I believe he'll be a big factor in this game, and they are going to win. I think the Hawkeyes are going to win
Yeah, I
easily.
do too.
So, man, we got 3 games went by just like that. Man, we just
Yeah.
went through them all.
Yeah.
Um, let's go with our daily selections for the week, and you will go first since I talk a lot.
Okay. Uh, so my game is 6:30. A&M against South Carolina. This is a road game for A&M. I would say big game for both teams. For A&M, obviously coming off a huge home win against LSU last week. They're 7-1. They're number one in the SEC right now. And then you got South Carolina team, and their head coach Shane Beamer. You know he's one of those coaches that can sometimes surprise you. And this is a night game. South Carolina is coming off a bye week, so it's going to be a tough outing. I think A&M is a 3.5 point favorite, I believe, on the road. But I think this is going to be a really good game. I think that for South Carolina, their main issue is when they're on defense. Because at this point, we don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback for A&M. It could be Wigman. It could be Marcel Reed. I mean, we don't know who it's going to be.
Dude, yeah, y'all need to. The quarterback situation is not ideal down there in A&M. Y'all got some QB controversy.
But you know what? It's hey when you got two quarterbacks and when the opposing team doesn't know who's going to be on the field, it's kind of a mismatch. But
It's kind of
um,
strange. Yeah, it's an outlier.
yeah, but South Carolina's defense has been really solid the past couple of weeks. I mean, you saw what they did against Oklahoma a couple of weeks ago in Norman. They put 32 up. They had several turnovers. So that's going to be something that Mike Elko and his offensive staff is going to have to be looking for. And then for the other side, Seller for South Carolina, their starting quarterback. They're going to have to try and generate some offense. They're going to have to try and get A&M off their heels because A&M's got a tremendous pass rush. Nick Scorton was a Big Ten sack leader a year ago, and so they're gonna have their hands full. It's a on the road game, but I'm gonna take A&M in a close one. I think South Carolina gives them all they can handle, but I think A&M finds a way to get it done in Columbia, South Carolina.
I mean, your Aggies have handled business all year.
Yeah,
I think they get a blowout here.
blowout win?
I think they get a blowout win.
Really?
I
Okay.
think defense plays well like it's been playing. I mean, look at what they did to that LSU offense that's supposed to be amazing with Garrett Nussmeier. Just, I think they lock Lenore Sellers down. I don't think he does anything. I think A&M wins big.
Hmm. Gotcha. Gotcha.
So yeah, moving on to my game.
Yeah, moving on to your game. I got a hunch of what your game's gonna be.
Think we can finally talk about Baylor.
Them Baylor Bears.
They've finally been winning football games, and it makes me excited. And we play our rivals, TCU,
Mm-hmm.
at home, blackout.
Yeah.
7 o'clock,
Yeah.
and we can knock TCU out of the playoff, Big 12 championship hunt.
Right.
I'd love nothing more to knock a rival out of a Big 12 championship.
And I remember this game 2 years ago. It was in Baylor. TCU was number 4 in the country. Y'all should have won, but TCU was able to go down in there. I like. I think TCU is a good team, but I think Baylor catches them on the right day, and I'm gonna go Baylor. I like the Bears. Let's go.
Uh, it's a very even game. Two
It's a very even game. I feel like I feel like that both teams aren't necessarily in the same boat, but at the same time they're kind of in the same boat. But I think it's a if this was at TCU, I'm sorry, but I think I'd choose TCU. But they came off an emotional win against Texas Tech last week to TCU, and I think Baylor just gets them on the right day, and their offense has been really good. Baylor's
Yeah,
has.
TCU's has been really good as
Yeah.
well. I don't want to choose against my Baylor Bears, but it's kind of hard not to when TCU's quarterback is throwing for 2,000 yards, um,
Golly.
2,614 yards and 19 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's throwing a lot. He's throwing the ball a lot. But I got my boy Sawyer Robinson. He's been dotting up and running all over these defenses. Um, I'm gonna pick Baylor to take this game just because we're at home. You know, TCU's always given us issues in the past, but I think we're gonna shatter TCU's hopes and dreams of a Big 12 title,
Yeah.
appearing in the Big 12 title. We're gonna
All
send
right.
Kendall Briles back where he belongs. No home, happy homecoming for him.
That's
No,
funny.
no happy homecoming for him. He can go back to Fort Worth. We don't want you back here in Waco. Um, yeah, I think Baylor wins,
Yeah. No, I like Baylor to win, and I like Baylor to cover.
and Baylor,
Let's
I
go.
believe, is favored. We are favored by 3 points. I think that's like the first time we've been favored in a while.
Well, how about that? First time for everything, right?
Yep.
Well, now talking about some Heisman candidates. So right now, I got a list. Dylan Gabriel's number 1, which is understandable. And then Travis Hunter, number 2. Cam Ward is number 3. And then Ashton Genty. I just don't get how he could drop from first to now. Now he's in 4th place now.
Mm,
You know,
that's interesting.
it is very interesting. After all the numbers and all the rushing touchdowns and catches through the air he's had, just kind of surprising that he's kind of dropped that low. I don't know.
Dude, they just don't like him, man.
I don't know.
He had a big game yesterday, I think, or I believe tonight. I think the game was yesterday, but he had another big game. He had 150 yards and 2 touchdowns
Hmm.
on 31 carries, which is pretty darn efficient.
I'd say it's pretty efficient.
And that's what people have been arguing in his case towards the Heisman. I mean, Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
He's putting up great numbers. He's got the buffs to bowl eligibility.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
it's it's great for Colorado. I mean, good for them.
Hmm. Yeah.
Surprised
Yeah.
Shador Sanders is not being talked more about with what he's doing.
I know. Yeah. I've kind of felt that way too. I feel like Shador should, still be. He's still up there, but I feel like he should be getting the same recognition too.
Travis Hunter, dude's throwing him the ball and then he's spraying the ball all over the field to other receivers and putting up big numbers. But he's a very selfless guy. He just wants to win.
Right. And I really respect that.
He has some swagger. I will tell you that Colorado team has a lot of swagger.
Hmm. Yeah.
Which
Well, it
is
definitely helps when you're 6-2 instead of 4-6.
hmm
You know?
So, and Dylan Gabriel, I think he's gonna put up another big game this week.
Yeah, against Michigan. Yeah,
Michigan, that not the same team we have seen in years past. And with Michigan's top corner Will Johnson being out that game,
yeah.
Dylan Gabriel is gonna have a field day.
Well,
And
and you look at the weapons that Dylan Gabriel has. I mean, he's got Evan Stewart,
Tez
right?
Johnson,
Yeah,
he's he's he has everything around him he needs to be
yeah.
successful.
He's got every tool at his disposal if they
He has
they
the
want to be
Batman
successful.
utility belt. I mean,
Yeah, and Oregon's got a nasty defense too.
oh
So
yeah, don't get us wrong yet. Oregon's gonna roll through whatever team they face right now.
right, number one for a reason.
And then someone who's fallen off in this Heisman race is Jalen Milroe. We really thought he would be someone who would still be in this hunt.
Yeah. Well, and I would say for Milrow too. He's the team has just overall been inconsistent. And I think when obviously I think when after Alabama beat Georgia, back in what was it, week 3 of the season, everybody was giving Milrow potentially the Heisman candidate trophy or whatever then, but then when they lost to Vandy, things kind of spiraling, and then when they almost lost to South Carolina, things really started to spiral, and then when they lost to Tennessee, just it never he just hasn't been able to really the his graphic just hasn't been able to come out of the sand yet, and I think when they play LSU, which is their next game, I think that'll be a game if he can perform well. That could be a game that he could get back into the conversation.
Yeah.
You know.
Milroe's Milroe.
Yeah.
They still got a fighting chance in the playoffs so
Yeah.
far.
No, I still think he's one of the best quarterbacks in my opinion, just because of his athletic and speed, and he can throw the ball long too. So he can definitely give a team trouble.
Yeah. Just
We'll
um,
see.
the race is closer than it's ever been in a while, just because Ashton Genty isn't putting up 200 yards a game,
Yeah.
and Cam Ward. I think it's a two-horse race right now.
Yeah, I think for Cam Ward, I just think if he just keeps doing what he's doing, I think Cam Ward, I mean, with the resume that he has, he's got an 8-0 squad. Um, if they can just continue to roll, if Miami, if they go undefeated in the regular season, go 12-0 and win the ACC, and then go into the playoffs still undefeated, I think Cam Ward has a legit shot at really pulling the Heisman away, in my
hmm
opinion. That's just the season he's having, I think.
And then on the other case, Ashton Genty's case really is leading a Group of Five team to the
Right,
playoff as well.
right,
They've lost one game, but they lost their one game to Oregon, and he even had a great game against Oregon.
right. So I mean, it's a,
Yeah,
it's a,
I don't
it's,
think he deserves to fall out the race at all.
it's like the Kentucky Derby, finishings.
Yeah, it's
We'll see.
down to the end.
We'll see who wins.
Yep. And I think that is it, unless you have any super interesting things you did for Halloween. I mean, I saw your costume. I mean, I know you're doing some amazing things on Halloween. Just wearing your costume and
Yeah.
just chilling, vibing. Um,
I think
y'all,
I saw. I think it was on social media. I saw some like little kid pretending to be Travis Hunter. He had like shoulder pads and a Travis Hunter jersey. It was hilarious. And he even got a wig too. It was
he's
hilarious.
got the dreadlocks.
Uh huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'll say that the Cowboys have had a probably 2 or 3 months of Halloween already.
it's very terrifying. The fans
Man.
just, and the Cowboys are in a cowboy.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yippee your way out of the playoff race.
Yeah.
And, just have a great day, guys. I mean,
Other than that, that's pretty much it, isn't it?
the holiday season's coming up. Our schedule's going to get a little weird.
Yep.
We might have an in-person podcast, I mean, we're probably going to see each other in person really soon.
Yeah, we might out that.
That could be something very special coming in the future.
Yep.
But
And like we mentioned, that lost episode that is floating out somewhere, we'll be sure to find that and get that uploaded. Might be a little bit later, but we'll get
might
that.
just be clips. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? As long as we get something out, people have something to see. I think that's all people care about,
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right.
All righty.
See y'all later. God bless.
See y'all later. Not bad. 29 minutes.
Oh, 30 minutes. That was not very long at all.
No,
Usually these episodes are like 40 minutes.
I know. That was really